Welcome to part 8 of the Mega Man Eternal playthrough. So anyways, in this part what we're going to be doing is we're going to be tackling Clampman, largest of the robot masters in this game. And is also pretty notorious for having a really tricky level. And note, I did die once. So, Clampman, in adoration of his love for the brute power of Gutsman, Dr. Wily created Clampman with his previous plans in the Mega Data. Armed with vice-like clamps, Clampman can propel himself across great distances and is best suited for building Dr. Wily's robots. After taking over a steel factory, Clampman has been given the task of constructing more than just robots. So, anyways, as you probably have noticed in this level, it is full of treadmills and these big presses. It's very industrial, and it is a deadly combination of stage elements. It's intentional, it is a really nasty level, and you have to be extremely careful with your jumps. Two tips I have is always ensure to slide on these treadmills. It'll save you a ton of waiting or try jumping over. You basically don't want to walk the whole route. So this enemy right there is called Clamper, and the guy right below it is Ingot. So you have to shoot Clamper to go on top of Ingot to get past, otherwise he shoots out a firing hot metal at you. So if you take this upper route here in this level, you can get the next beat letter, the letter T if I recall correctly. So watch your distance from these. If you get anywhere near the bottom of these as you're getting down, you're going to get either dragged down to the ground and get killed, or you're going to get killed by being crushed. Fun fact, in early versions of this game, while the testers were flying it, the T was located at the very last treadmill, making it harder to reach. Now be careful on this last one here, I changed it into an opposing direction. So, that being said, just watch very carefully the direction of the treadmills. That spot right before is one tricky spot with a treadmill that actually goes in the opposite direction, which is a very proponent spot for dying. But anyways, yeah, watch me try to get this in the most brute way possible. I just go right through it and say, screw it, I'm out of here, sucker. Yeah, there we go. Now here's another example of that. Yeah, be careful. That one's going to the right, but you want to make sure that you're not going to the right. Here, time your jump carefully. The Picado there will knock you right off into the pit. These are claw gyros, so just aim at them when they release the claw, or just shoot over their shield. So one thing to watch out for is just basic understanding of treadmills. Apparently some people have some real trouble understanding what a treadmill does. Well, at least when they're playing this game. Just be very careful and time your jumps carefully. The combination of presses and treadmills will be a disaster if you do not understand the basic physics of treadmills. So I'm coming in a little bit. There's going to be one tricky spot I'm going to show you a nice tip for to get through this really easily. So, one thing to keep in mind is I recommend, if there's enemies in your way and you gotta deal with the treadmills, try to take out those enemies before you get on the treadmills, just because it can get really nasty. Note that room just before us, that had a tricky spot. Illusion Blast is very handy for these, for the relic tellies there. Now you're gonna watch this one tip I'm gonna have with Cipher Decode. It gets through this no problem. Now this is actually a really tricky spot. Clamper and Ingot are in the way of a Hammer Joe, so just use Cipher Decode, the knock up Clamper, and you'll give you enough time to shoot a Cipher Decode through to the Hammer Joe. Woohoo! Yeah, be careful, there are some gaps here, so time your jump carefully. Here's the final segment. You just gotta dodge the clamps. I'm not the clamps, the presses. And And here we are, we're at the boss chamber already. Gonna put on his weakness, it is Primal Bomb. Easily one of the strongest, well, one of the strongest weapons in this game. So, here Clampman has a lot of tricky attacks. In particular, he does ram into the ground, he slams the ground, and causes blocks to come from the ceiling, so watch out for those. And note, if they do land on Clampman, they do in fact stop him from dashing forward. But yeah, you gotta watch out for his dash attack. He does go back and forth, and you can't damage him while he's doing that, so time your jumps carefully. So now we're gonna get one of the more handy weapons called Clamp Ring. Now, Clamp Ring is excellent for the ultimate speedrunner. It will actually allow you to lock an enemy in a single place, and you can walk right by them. With that being said, let's wrap up this part, save, and let's go on.